Hey everyone, today we're talking about suffering and judgment. Dear friends, don't be surprised at the fiery trials that have come among you to test you. These are not strange happenings. Instead, rejoice as you share Christ's suffering. You share his suffering now, so you may also have overwhelming joy when his glory is revealed. If you are mocked because of Christ's name, you're blessed, for the Spirit of glory, indeed the Spirit of God, it rests on you. Now, none of you should suffer as a murderer or thief or evildoer or rebel, but don't be ashamed if you suffer as one who belongs to Christ. Rather, honor God as you bear Christ's name. Give honor to God because it's time for judgment to begin with God's own household. But if judgment starts with us, what will happen to those who refuse to believe God's good news? So then, those who suffer because they follow God should commit their lives to a trustworthy Creator by doing what is right. Should you expect the Christian life to be easy? Now, some kind of present it that way, right? That if you just say the right prayers, live the right way, then God will bless you with health and wealth and all this prosperity. And it doesn't seem to work out that way for most of us. I think, though, about my job. My job is to imitate a guy who was killed by religious people for religious people, and also I'm supposed to somehow make that a lifelong career. Right? You ever wonder why so many ministers are quitting right now? I think that might be part of it. I think it's an important question to ask in these situations. Why exactly are you suffering? Why do you feel like you're being attacked? Peter gives some obvious examples of when that might happen, right? If you're a thief or evildoer, right? Obviously suffering is going to come if you do that. But I think there's sometimes for us as Christians, we need to ask, okay, am I really being persecuted or am I actually just a jerk? And people don't like that. Right? If Christians are being called out by a world that recognizes they aren't being Christ-like, that is not persecution. That's just honesty, and you don't like it. But you may suffer for showing Christ-like love and mercy and inclusion. And when you do, you can know in those cases that you are sharing in the suffering of Christ. I'm not saying that it makes it easy, that it's not a big deal, but God's Spirit is with you in those hard moments. Don't spend all your time ruminating on what they accuse you of. Meditate on the presence of the suffering Savior in the midst of those accusations. Peter says this actually is our form of judgment, right? It happens to us now instead of later at Judgment Day for others. So whatever that day looks like, I think it's pretty clear that what happened going through it now is going to be better than going through it then. So, as he says, keep doing what's right. Keep showing Christ-like love, whether the complaints about it come from inside the household of God or they come from outside. Trust that God sees and remain steadfast in your commitment to including all in God's love.